beneath your skin lies an electric kingdom, a symphony of signals shaping every heartbeat, every thought, every fate. What if you could seize its hidden levers? What if miracles weren't accidents but inevitabilities? Tonight, awaken the secret machinery that bends reality to your will. Since the dawn of human wonder, sages and seekers have whispered of a truth too extraordinary for ordinary minds, that the nervous system is not just biology, but a sacred instrument of creation. Each spark of electricity running through your body is a command to the universe. Each pulse, a declaration of what is possible. And yet most drift through life unaware, slaves to their impulses instead of masters of their power. But you are different. You have been called to uncover the hidden switches that govern reality itself. Your nervous system is not merely flesh and wire. It is a cosmic interface, a divine circuitry linking your inner world to the fabric of existence. Every miracle ever witnessed was first scripted in the silent language of the body's electrical field. This book is your forbidden map. Together we will descend into the luminous depths of your being, where nerves shimmer like rivers of light. You will learn to hijack the codes that dictate your experience, rewiring stress into serenity, fear into fuel, limitation into limitless flow. What once felt like fate will reveal itself as programmable energy. Prepare to challenge what you thought unchangeable. Prepare to step into the laboratory of your own biology and command it to shape destiny. This journey is not for the faint of heart, but for those who know they were born to bend reality. The miracle is not outside of you. It is pulsing through you, waiting to be unleashed. Welcome to the hijacking of your nervous system. Chapter 1: The Hidden Kingdom Within, Awakening the Electric Body. Deep beneath your skin lies a kingdom most never learn to enter. It is not made of stone or steel, but of fire, light, and current. Every second, billions of sparks leap across synapses, carrying invisible messages that decide whether you feel despair or ecstasy, sickness or strength, limitation or limitless possibility. The nervous system is the true throne room of creation, and until now, you have lived at its mercy, believing you were simply reacting to the world around you. But the truth is far stranger, far greater. The world reacts to the commands your nervous system sends into it. In a coastal town long forgotten by maps, there lived a healer named Althea. She was no scholar of medicine, yet those who entered her hut left with ailments dissolved, not by herbs or incantations, but by something they could never name. Her secret was this: she knew how to stir the body's hidden kingdom awake. Althea taught her pupils to close their eyes and feel the rivers of electricity flowing through them like streams of silver light coursing from spine to fingertips, from heart to crown. At first they felt nothing, only silence. But with patience the veil would thin and a tingling warmth would rise as though the body itself was whispering, "I am alive with fire." Your body is not passive flesh. It is a cathedral of lightning. Each nerve is an altar, each impulse a prayer. When you learn to sense it, when you awaken to the currents moving within you, you step into a realization. You are not a prisoner of biology. You are the sovereign of it. The ancients knew this. They carved symbols of lightning into stone, worshipped serpents that coiled like spines, spoke of rivers of energy that moved through man as they moved through sky and earth. Modern science has only caught fragments of this truth, labeling them with sterile names, action potentials, electrical signaling. Yet beyond the jargon lies the same shimmering mystery. Your nervous system is a generator of reality. It translates invisible thought into tangible matter, emotion into sensation, intention into circumstance. The hidden kingdom awakens when you remember that every breath, every thought, every movement is not isolated but electrified. Close your eyes now and breathe slowly. Can you sense the subtle hum behind your heartbeat? That is the throne. Place your awareness on your spine, the great serpent rising from root to crown. With each breath, imagine light moving upward through it, activating sleeping chambers of your nervous kingdom. As you do understand, you are not imagining. You are awakening circuits that have long lain dormant, waiting for your command. Althea's students became masters of creation, not by chasing the outer world, but by governing their inner empire. One farmer, plagued by years of drought, learned to enter his electric body each night. He would feel rain falling across his skin, though the sky outside was dry. Within weeks, clouds gathered and rain came. The villagers called it coincidence. But Althea smiled, for she knew his nervous system had become a transmitter, aligning with the weather, summoning nourishment through the invisible command of electricity. So it is with you. When you awaken your hidden kingdom, you discover that miracles are not accidents. They are signals pulsing through your nervous system into the cosmos, shaping the very fabric of reality. The kingdom is awake, and it awaits its sovereign. Chapter 2. Nerve as Oracle, How Signals Shape Destiny. Your nerves are prophets, delivering messages about the life you are creating long before it manifests in physical form. Each twitch of sensation, each pulse of adrenaline, each softening breath is an oracle whispering the shape of your future. The question is not whether your nervous system is shaping destiny, but whether you are listening, or whether you are deaf to the wisdom streaming through your own body. Long ago in a desert city, a merchant named Kael sought guidance for his failing caravans. He visited astrologers, priests, and seers, but their words gave no peace. One night, restless beneath the stars, he noticed his body trembling, not from fear, but from an inner current. He remembered a story his grandmother told. The body is the first prophet. Trust its trembling, and it will guide you. Kael began listening. He noticed that when he thought of new ventures, his chest tightened or opened. His breath grew shallow or free. Slowly he understood. These signals were not random. They were guidance, direct and precise, encoded in nerve and impulse. Your nervous system has always been your oracle. It responds instantly to thoughts, shaping your body as a mirror of your future. Think of failure and your shoulders hunch, nerves constrict, breath shallows. Think of triumph and your spine lengthens, nerves relax, eyes brighten. These are not trivial changes. They are the first drafts of destiny, rehearsals written in the flesh before the world performs them. When you ignore your oracle, you wander lost. When you obey it, you walk a path where miracles seem to appear at every turn. The tightening in your stomach, the warmth in your chest, the sudden chill at your skin, all are divine messages. The nervous system does not lie. It cannot. It speaks the language of truth, bypassing the rational mind and whispering directly from the infinite intelligence you are part of. Kael began to trust his oracle. Each night before sleep, he asked his body to guide him. If his chest tightened, he turned away from that path. If his breath expanded, he pursued it. Within months, his caravans flourished, guided not by stars in the sky, but by the living constellations of nerves within him. Your body is speaking even now. Pause and ask, does the life you live expand your breath or constrict it? Do your choices warm your chest or hollow it? The oracle has answered. The question is whether you will listen. Chapter 3. The Sacred Switchboard. Sympathetic versus parasympathetic power. Every kingdom has two rulers, one fierce, one gentle. In the kingdom of your nervous system, these rulers are the sympathetic and parasympathetic forces, opposites in function, yet partners in design. Most live unaware of their presence, ruled unconsciously by whichever is strongest in the moment. But when you learn to command this sacred switchboard, You hold in your hands the power to summon miracles at will. The sympathetic system is the warrior. It floods your veins with fire, sharpens your eyes, accelerates your heart. It prepares you to act, to fight, to seize. In ancient days, it saved lives from predators. Today, it fuels ambition, courage, and decisive action. Yet left unchecked, the warrior burns the kingdom, exhausting the body with endless battle. The parasympathetic system is the healer. It slows the pulse, deepens the breath, digests food, restores the cells. It is the gentle hand that rebuilds after the fire, the cool stream that quenches the warrior's flames. Without it, you collapse into stress, disease, and despair. But in balance, the healer brings renewal, serenity, and miraculous repair of body and mind. In a mountain monastery, monks once taught disciples to flip this sacred switchboard at will. One novice, Elias, could summon fire into his limbs with a single thought, racing up frozen mountains bare-chested. Another could sink into stillness so deep that wounds closed as he slept, healed by the healer's touch. These were no miracles to them, they were mechanics, the predictable results of nervous system mastery. When you learn to summon the warrior, you channel courage into your blood, breaking through obstacles with unstoppable force. When you summon the healer, you bathe in restoration, recharging your body with luminous peace. Together they form the dual key: action and surrender, fire and water, effort and ease. Your nervous system is not random, it is programmable. Each breath, each thought, each posture is a hand upon the sacred switchboard. Sit in fear and the warrior dominates. Breathe in peace and the healer rises. But when you master both, when you learn to flip the switch with conscious will, you step into sovereignty. The world outside bends to your inner command, for you have harnessed the throne's two rulers. And when the rulers bow to you, the kingdom obeys. Miracles become not wishes, but inevitabilities. Chapter 4. The breath as lever, controlling the body's current. Breath is the forgotten lever of miracles. Each inhale is a signal, each exhale a command. Most draw breath unconsciously, unaware that every rhythm sculpts the nervous system's response to reality. But those who learn to harness it step into the control room of the electric body. Breath is not mere survival. It is the instrument by which you tune the entire orchestra of your being. In the ancient city of Nineveh, a scribe named Idran was said to carry an unusual gift. Though small of stature and weak of body, he never fell ill, and his presence brought peace even to those drowning in turmoil. When asked for his secret, Idran would only say, "I breathe." His pupils scoffed, for who does not breathe? Yet when he demonstrated, the air seemed to ripple, and silence fell over the crowd. He would inhale as if drawing stars into his chest, and exhale as if releasing storms into stillness. Those who observed him felt their own nerves slow, their hearts synchronize, their anxieties dissolve like mist at sunrise. Your breath is the bridge between conscious and subconscious, between thought and body, between the world you live and the one you create. It speaks directly to the nervous system's sacred switchboard, telling the warrior to rise or the healer to return. Quick, shallow breathing summons fire, while long, deep exhalations summon peace. The miracle is not in choosing one or the other, but in mastering both as tools of command. Close your eyes now. Inhale slowly through the nose, as if drawing the universe itself into your chest. Hold the breath gently, not as prison, but as sacred pause, the space where time ceases. Then exhale as if releasing all resistance, letting the body melt into the flow of the healer. This simple rhythm rewires your nerves. Within minutes, signals shift, hormones recalibrate, the system bends to your will. Idran taught that 3 breaths could change a fate. A soldier trembling before battle learned to inhale strength and exhale fear. A widow drowning in grief learned to inhale memory and exhale release. A merchant overwhelmed by choices learned to inhale clarity and exhale doubt. Each found that the nervous system obeys breath before all else. Breath is the lever that tilts the scale between chaos and calm, despair and miracle. Consider this truth. When you were born, the first thing you did was breathe. When you depart this world, the last act will be exhalation. Breath is the bookends of existence, the eternal rhythm of creation itself. When you seize it consciously, you no longer drift in life, you steer it. The breath is not merely air, but electricity in motion, prana, chi, spiritus. Every culture whispered its name because every sage discovered its secret. Use it carelessly, and you remain a pawn of reaction. Use it with reverence, and you hijack the nervous system, forcing it to create miracles at your command. Chapter 5. Emotional voltage turning feelings into frequency. Emotion is not weakness. It is voltage, raw electricity flowing through the wires of your nervous system. Most are slaves to it, tossed by storms of anger, drowned in floods of sorrow, numbed by droughts of despair. But the awakened know emotion as power, energy to be harnessed, shaped, and directed like lightning through a conductor. Long ago in a mountain valley there lived a woman named Selene, whose moods seemed to command the weather itself. When she laughed, the skies brightened, crops flourished, and children danced in joy. When she wept, storms drenched the earth, rivers swelled, and animals hid. The villagers feared her until a wandering sage recognized the truth. Selene had learned unconsciously to project her emotional voltage into the field around her, bending the elements as easily as one bends the fingers of a hand. Your emotions carry frequencies that either expand your nervous system or collapse it. Joy expands, opening the circuitry to higher currents of possibility. Fear contracts, short-circuiting the pathways until miracles cannot pass through. Yet all emotions, even fear, can become fuel when consciously transformed. Like a blacksmith shaping molten metal, you must learn to stand in the fire of feeling without being consumed. When rage rises, feel its electricity and direct it toward courage rather than destruction. When sorrow floods, channel its depth into compassion rather than despair. When fear claws, transmute it into alertness, sharpening your senses for the miracle about to unfold. The nervous system listens not to words, but to voltage. What you feel becomes the signal it obeys. Selene taught the villagers to stop fearing emotion. She gathered them at twilight and guided them to breathe into their hearts, amplifying gratitude until their bodies vibrated. Soon the village transformed. Disputes dissolved, abundance returned, and miracles became commonplace. Not because the gods favored them, but because they learned to tune their nervous systems to higher frequencies through the voltage of emotion. Ask yourself now, what frequency are you broadcasting? Despair, doubt, or gratitude, joy, and love? Your nervous system amplifies whatever you supply. Choose with intention, and you become the conductor of miracles. Chapter 6. The Vegas Key. Unlocking Deep Calm. There is a secret key hidden within you, a single golden thread that winds through your body, touching heart, lungs, stomach, and mind. This thread is the vagus nerve, the most ancient pathway between body and spirit. To those who discover its secret, it is a key to unlock deep calm, to reset the nervous system, to summon miracles of healing and clarity. In the village of Erythra, a healer named Dion was renowned not for herbs or spells, but for his touch. He would place a hand gently at the base of the throat or upon the belly, and within moments the trembling would cease. The panic would soften, the eyes would clear. His secret was no magic. It was mastery of the vagus nerve. By stimulating this golden thread, he calmed storms raging in the nervous system, guiding people into states where miracles naturally occurred. The vagus nerve is the grand mediator, whispering to the heart to slow, to the lungs to deepen, to the gut to digest, to the mind to release. It carries the power to flip the sacred switchboard from chaos to serenity. Most let it lie dormant, never realizing that its activation is within reach. But those who learn to harness it can summon calm in moments of crisis, clarity in storms of confusion, even healing where medicine fails. How do you touch this golden key? Through breath that lengthens the exhale, through humming that vibrates the throat, through stillness that softens the belly. Each technique stimulates the vagus, sending ripples of calm through the kingdom of your nervous system. Within minutes, the warrior kneels, the healer rises, and the body enters a state where miracles germinate like seeds in fertile soil. Dion once guided a soldier crippled by trembling hands. Through daily practice of vagus activation, humming at dawn, slow breathing at dusk, gentle touch at the heart, the soldier's tremors ceased. His hands grew steady, his mind clear, and he became not only whole, but a beacon of strength to others. So it will be with you. The vagus key is within, waiting to be turned. Use it, and you command the kingdom into calm. In calm, the soil is ready. And in ready soil, miracles grow without effort. Chapter 7, Neuroalchemy, Rewiring Trauma into Power. There are wounds that never bleed, injuries hidden in the circuits of the nervous system. They are memories encoded not in thought, but in electricity, trauma etched into the body's current like scars upon the soul. Most spend their lives haunted by these imprints, believing themselves broken, but the awakened know the truth. Trauma is not a curse, but compressed energy, waiting to be transmuted into power. This is the essence of neuroalchemy, the art of transforming pain into possibility, scar into strength, wound into weapon. In the shadowed hills of Aramont, a young stonemason named Leontius carried nightmares that stalked even his waking hours. His father's death in a collapse had left not only grief, but a trembling in his body, a constant surge of fear whenever stone shifted or shadows deepened. His nervous system had become locked in vigilance, replaying the terror as if it were eternal. But a hermit in the hills showed him a different path. She taught him to meet the trembling, not as enemy, but as messenger. The shaking is the body's lightning, she said. Let it complete its storm, and it will leave you with fire. Leontius practiced surrendering to the tremors rather than resisting them. He breathed into the spasms, letting his body shudder, quake, and release. Slowly the locked circuits unwound, and the energy trapped in fear became fuel for strength. The boy who once crumbled at the sound of falling stone became the man who built arches that touched the heavens. His trauma, once chains, had become the very fire that forged his mastery. This is the law of neuroalchemy. The nervous system holds the echoes of every storm you have endured. But those echoes are not death sentences. They are unspent power. When you meet the pain, breathe into it and allow it to move. You rewire the nervous system, changing its code from fear to fuel. Close your eyes now. Recall a memory that still grips you. Notice where your body tightens, where your breath falters. Instead of resisting, breathe into it. Whisper, I allow. Let the energy rise, let it tremble, let it release. Feel the voltage rise not as terror but as strength. With repetition, the scar tissue of the nervous system dissolves, and in its place emerges resilience, wisdom, unshakable presence. The hermit called it fire transmutation. Modern tongues call it neuroplasticity. Both mean the same. You are not condemned by your past. You are invited to transmute it. The nervous system is the furnace, trauma the raw ore, and you, the alchemist who forges gold from grief. Chapter 8, The Pulse of Command, Heart Coherence as Control Center. In the kingdom of nerves, the heart is not merely a muscle, but a throne. Its rhythm is the drumbeat by which the entire nervous system marches. Each pulse sends signals not only through blood, but through fields of electromagnetic command, shaping how the brain thinks, how the body feels, how the world responds. To master miracles, you must learn to sit upon this throne, to bring the heart into coherence, where rhythm, breath, and emotion align into perfect harmony. Long ago, in the emerald forests of Lumeris, a healer named Oriah was said to calm even the fiercest beasts. Wolves that tore through flocks would lie at her feet, their hearts slowing, their eyes softening. Hunters swore it was sorcery, but Oriah revealed the secret. She lived in coherence. Her breath matched her heartbeat, her thoughts matched her feelings, her entire nervous system pulsed in resonance. And when she entered this state, her field expanded outward, entraining all around her into peace. Your heart is more than a pump. It is a command center. It sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to it. When chaotic, it floods the system with discord, breeding anxiety, confusion, disarray. But when coherent, it creates order, clarity, and strength. Coherence is not stillness, but rhythm, smooth, consistent, aligned. It is the state where miracles sprout like wildflowers, nourished by the harmony of inner command. How do you step into coherence? Place your hand upon your chest and breathe as if your lungs are beneath your palm. Go your breath to match the beat. Then summon an elevated emotion, gratitude, love, awe. Let that feeling wash into your pulse until the rhythm steadies, the nervous system softens, and the mind clears. This is coherence, the merging of rhythm and radiance. Oriah taught her pupils that coherence could turn fate itself. One merchant, facing ruin, learned to enter heart rhythm before every decision. He found clarity where once there was panic, opportunity where once there was despair. Within a year, his fortunes turned, not through luck, but through coherence. You too carry this throne within your chest. Sit upon it, breathe into it, summon harmony. Your nervous system will obey, your world will shift, and miracles will follow the pulse of your command. Chapter 9, Pain as Portal, Converting Suffering into Signal. Pain is the most misunderstood messenger. Most flee from it, numb it, curse it as enemy. But those who walk the hidden path know pain as a portal, a signal from the nervous system, pointing not to destruction but to direction. Every ache, whether of flesh or soul, is a lantern illuminating the way toward transformation. In the city of Ashara, a soldier named Dagon returned from war with wounds that would not heal. His leg ached like fire, his nights tormented by phantom screams. He sought healers and potions, but relief never came. One night, in the midst of his torment, he encountered an old woman who whispered, "Do not flee the fire. Step into it." Desperate, he obeyed. Instead of numbing the pain, he sat with it, breathed into it, and asked, "What do you want me to know?" To his astonishment, the pain shifted, softened, revealed visions of choices he had denied, truths he had ignored. Over weeks, as he listened rather than resisted, the agony transformed into guidance. His limp remained, but his spirit grew strong, and his life aligned with purpose. Pain speaks in electricity, encoded in nerves that shout when something is misaligned. But beyond warning, pain offers invitation. It forces you to pause, to notice, to reorient. What if instead of resisting, you welcomed it? What if you treated every pang as a sacred knock at the door of your awareness? Close your eyes and bring to mind a pain you carry. Rather than tensing, soften. Breathe into it. Ask it to speak. Perhaps it reveals a memory, perhaps a message, perhaps a release. In that moment, you discover pain is not punishment, but portal. Dagon taught others what he learned, that pain ignored becomes prison, but pain embraced becomes passage. His leg never healed, but his life did. He became not the broken soldier, but the sage of Ashara, guiding countless souls through their own portals of suffering into strength. Your nervous system does not create pain to torture you. It creates pain to teach you. Each signal is a guide, each ache a teacher, each wound a doorway. Walk through and you will find miracles waiting on the other side. Chapter 10. The Silent Circuit. Harnessing Stillness for Creation. There is a current that flows most powerfully not in noise, not in frenzy, not in action, but in silence. This is the silent circuit, the hidden wiring of the nervous system that awakens only when the world grows quiet. Few ever discover it, for silence terrifies them. They rush to fill it with chatter, distraction, noise. But those who dare to enter stillness find themselves seated at the command center of creation itself. In the highlands of Thalios, a shepherd named Ravan grew weary of storms within his mind. His nerves burned with constant agitation, his breath shallow, his sleep restless. Every sound seemed an assault, every moment a battle. Until one evening, when his flock slept and the hills lay drenched in moonlight, he heard nothing. No wind, no footsteps, no cry of beasts, only silence, vast and endless. At first it frightened him, his heart raced, his body shook. But then, as he surrendered to it, something remarkable occurred. The shaking ceased, the breath deepened, the nervous system calmed as though held by unseen hands. Within that silence, Ravan felt the spark of new ideas, the birth of visions, the stirring of miracles. The nervous system is flooded daily with signals, sounds, sights, sensations that keep it firing ceaselessly. But when you step into silence, the circuits reorganize. The noise that scatters energy is replaced by coherence, by order, by clarity. Stillness becomes a tuning fork, aligning the nervous system with the frequencies of creation. How do you harness this silent circuit? By seeking stillness deliberately, carving space where no noise intrudes. Sit in a quiet room, let the body rest, the breath slow, the mind soften. Do not chase thoughts, do not fear them. Allow the nervous system to bathe in silence and watch as hidden pathways awaken. It is in these moments that inspiration strikes, healing occurs, miracles take shape. Ravan returned to silence each night, his life transformed. Where once he struggled with worry, he now carried peace. Where once he saw only problems, he now saw solutions shimmering in stillness. Villagers began to seek him not as shepherd but as sage, for he carried an aura of calm that soothed all who came near. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers, full of visions, full of power. Within it lies the circuit that allows your nervous system to recharge, reset, and create. Step into silence, and you step into the sacred laboratory of miracles. Chapter 11. The Thought-to-Nerve Transmission Code. Every thought you think is not confined to the mind. It is carried, translated, and delivered into the nervous system as code. A fleeting worry becomes a tightening of the chest. A hopeful vision becomes a lightness in the step. The body does not argue with thought. It obeys. But few understand that this transmission is programmable. If you learn the code, you can write directly into your nervous system, forcing it to broadcast signals that shape reality itself. In the desert city of Narim, a scholar named Elric discovered this truth by accident. Obsessed with failure, he noticed his body shrinking, his voice faltering, his hands trembling as though his very nerves had become slaves to despair. Yet one evening, he forced himself to imagine triumph. Standing tall, praised by peers, his words clear and strong. Within minutes, his body began to change. His spine straightened, his hands steadied, his pulse calmed. He realized that thought was not vapor, it was code, and the nervous system was the machine that executed it. The transmission works through repetition and emotion. A thought without feeling is a whisper. A thought charged with emotion is thunder. When you repeatedly imagine failure with dread, the nervous system encodes it as truth, shaping behaviors and outcomes to match. But when you imagine success with conviction, with emotion flooding every nerve, the system encodes that instead. You already live by this code. Every anxious thought has already written itself into your nerves, shaping how you move, speak, and act. The question is not whether you are transmitting, but what you are transmitting. To seize control, you must deliberately craft thoughts charged with emotion, repeated until the nervous system accepts them as commands. Ulrich began his experiment. Each morning he visualized victory, letting his body feel it as if it were already real. He spoke affirmations with trembling at first, then with conviction, then with unshakable authority. Soon his body transformed into the vessel of his vision. The trembling ceased, the voice grew steady, the scholar became the leader he had once only imagined. Your nervous system does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experience. Both leave the same imprint. This is the secret of the transmission code. Each time you rehearse triumph in thought, you rehearse it in nerve, until the body can do no other but manifest it in reality. You are the coder of your own destiny. The keyboard is thought, the electricity is emotion, the machine is your nervous system. Write carefully, for whatever you inscribe will inevitably come alive. Chapter 12, Visual Electricity, How Imagery Rewrites Synapses. Close your eyes and see an apple. The image is clear, though no apple lies before you. Now notice, your mouth waters, your stomach stirs, your senses prepare as if the fruit were real. This is the power of imagery. It does not remain in the mind. It flows into the nervous system as electricity, rewiring synapses, programming the body as though the vision already existed. In a remote village by the sea, a fisherman named Ianto was plagued by failure. Each voyage returned empty, his nets torn, his spirit weary. But one night, guided by an elder, he began a ritual. Before sleep, he closed his eyes and vividly imagined the weight of nets heavy with fish. The smell of the sea rich with life, the laughter of his children as they ate from his bounty. He felt it, tasted it, breathed it, until his body pulsed with the reality of his vision. Within weeks, his nets began to fill, not through luck, but through nervous system programming. His body, already convinced of success, guided him unconsciously to the right waters, the right timing, the right actions. Imagery is electricity. Each picture you hold in mind fires neurons, strengthens synapses, engraves pathways. Repetition transforms imagination into habit, habit into behavior, behavior into reality. The nervous system cannot refuse the command of vivid imagery. It must obey. You must learn to wield this power consciously. Do not allow your mind to be filled with visions of failure, sickness, poverty. Every such image rewires your nerves toward that end. Instead, paint deliberately. Each morning, see the life you desire in high definition. Feel the air of that world, the texture, the sounds, the scents. Let your body respond as though it were happening now. Ian too taught his children this practice. One dreamed of traveling beyond the sea, another of building ships, another of becoming a healer. Each used imagery until their nervous systems carried them into those realities. What began as vision became destiny, for electricity obeys the painter of images. Close your eyes now. Imagine yourself as the person you long to be, not vaguely, but vividly. Notice how your breath shifts, how your body responds. This is the miracle at work. Synapses rewriting, pathways forming, destiny aligning. Imagery is not fantasy, it is instruction, and your nervous system is always listening. Chapter 13, Ritual Touch, Programming Through Somatic Anchors. The body remembers in ways the mind forgets. Every touch, every gesture, every sensation leaves behind imprints upon the nervous system, shaping patterns that endure for years, sometimes for lifetimes. Ritual touch is the art of turning these imprints into sacred anchors, signals that direct the nervous system toward the reality you choose. By linking touch with intention, you create shortcuts into new states of being, buttons on the body that call forth miracles with a single press. In the bustling market city of Vira, there lived a merchant named Julian who struggled with endless anxiety. His hands shook whenever he counted coins, his voice faltered when speaking to customers, his nights restless with worry. He sought remedies in herbs and prayers, but none soothed him. One evening, a traveler from the east observed him carefully and whispered, "Your hands remember fear. Teach them to remember power." The traveler instructed Julian to press his palm firmly against his heart whenever he felt calm and to whisper words of strength into his body. "I am steady, I am sure." At first the ritual felt foolish, yet over weeks the nervous system began linking the touch of hand to chest with feelings of power. Soon, whenever anxiety arose, Julian placed his hand to his heart and instantly felt strength return. His body had been programmed with an anchor, his nerves trained to respond on command. This is the essence of somatic anchoring. By pairing touch with emotion, you engrave new codes into the nervous system. A hand to the heart, fingers pressed together, a palm on the belly. These become sacred buttons that summon states of courage, peace, creativity, or joy. The nervous system, once wandering aimlessly, learns to obey these signals. You already live with unconscious anchors. A certain scent recalls childhood. A melody evokes heartbreak. A scar tightens with remembered pain. These are anchors laid without intention, binding you to states you did not choose. But when you create them deliberately, they become tools of mastery. You can anchor confidence to the clenching of a fist, gratitude to the crossing of hands, serenity to the touch of fingertips at the temple. Each time you repeat the ritual with feeling, the nervous system strengthens the link until the state becomes instant. Julian's success grew. He anchored not only courage but abundance, pressing his palms together while feeling gratitude for wealth. Soon his stall prospered, not because the coins changed, but because his nervous system now projected certainty and calm that drew customers like moths to light. His ritual touch became a key, unlocking miracles with each press. Your body is a sacred keyboard. Every touch is a keystroke, every gesture a command. The question is whether you type unconsciously or deliberately. Begin today, choose a touch, pair it with an elevated emotion, repeat until the nervous system learns. Soon you will carry anchors that summon miracles at will. Chapter 14. Sound as Nervous System Tuner. The universe is built on vibration. Stars sing, rivers hum, winds whisper, and your body is no different. The nervous system is tuned like an instrument, vibrating to the frequencies it receives. Chaos tunes it to discord. Harmony tunes it to miracles. Sound is the ancient key that tunes the system, transforming nerves from tangled wires into golden strings that resonate with creation itself. In the temple of Elnora, a sect of monks were known as the Singers of Dawn. They carried no weapons, no wealth, no books, yet wherever they traveled, peace followed. Crops flourished, disputes dissolved, the sick recovered. Their secret was song. At sunrise, they would chant in low tones that vibrated through chest and spine, sending ripples through their nervous systems and outward into the world. These vibrations calmed their hearts, synchronized their breath, and created coherence in the village. Those who listened found their own nerves entrained, their bodies humming in harmony with the monks. The nervous system is profoundly sensitive to sound. A sudden noise startles, activating the warrior circuits. A lullaby soothes, summoning the healer. Frequencies can excite, depress, awaken, or heal. When you expose your body to sacred sounds, you retune its frequency, forcing the nervous system to reorganize. Consider humming softly now. Feel the vibration in your chest, your throat, your skull. Notice how your breath slows, your body warms, your thoughts settle. This is not imagination. The vibration is massaging the vagus nerve, shifting your system toward calm. In this way, sound becomes medicine. The singers of dawn taught villagers to use sound daily. A farmer hummed as he sowed seeds, tuning his body to abundance. A mother sang gratitude as she rocked her child, filling the home with coherence. A warrior chanted before battle, not for courage, but for clarity. Each learned that sound was not entertainment, but tuning. You too are an instrument. Each day you are tuned by the sounds you allow. Discordant noise tunes you to chaos, while sacred sound aligns you to harmony. Choose wisely. Fill your world with tones that heal, songs that uplift, frequencies that align with miracles. The nervous system cannot resist vibration. It must follow. Your voice is the most powerful tuner of all. When you chant, hum, sing, or speak with intention, you send currents through your nerves, tuning them to the frequency you choose. Speak in anger, and the system contracts. Speak in love, and it expands. With practice, you become your own sound healer, your own singer of dawn. Chapter 15. Movement Miracles. Using the body as a spell. The nervous system does not live in stillness alone. It thrives in motion. Every gesture, every step, every movement speaks a language that the body understands more deeply than words. Movement is spell work, each action casting signals through the nerves, shaping states of being. When you learn to move with intention, you discover that miracles are not spoken into existence. They are danced into reality. In the valley of Maravan, a woman named Lyra was known for her dance. Though she had no wealth, no position, people flocked to her. For when she moved, despair dissolved, hearts lifted, even sickness faded. Her secret was not in rhythm alone, but in intention. Each gesture carried meaning. Arms rising to summon abundance, feet stamping to banish fear, spirals of the spine to invite healing. Her nervous system, attuned to these spells of motion, projected them outward, shaping not only her reality but that of those around her. Your body carries postures of fear and postures of power. When you slump, the nervous system encodes defeat. When you stand tall, it encodes strength. These are not superficial gestures. They are signals that flood nerves with electricity, hormones with messages, destiny with new directions. By moving deliberately, you reprogram the nervous system into alignment with miracles. Begin with small spells. Stand tall each morning, arms stretched wide as if embracing the horizon. Let your nerves feel the posture of expansion. Soon, confidence arises. Walk with steady rhythm, imagining each step imprinting abundance into the earth. Soon, opportunities follow. Dance in spirals, letting your spine unwind old patterns. Soon, the nervous system sheds its scars, creating space for new growth. Lyra's students discovered that movement changed their lives. One, plagued by grief, learned to sway slowly each evening, releasing sorrow through the nervous system's currents. Another, bound by fear, stomped the ground daily, signaling his body to root into strength. Miracles emerged not from thought but from motion, as the body taught the nervous system to obey new spells. You too are a dancer of destiny. Each movement you make is either unconscious or deliberate, casting spells regardless of awareness. Choose Vishali, move with intention, and your nervous system will follow, carrying you into realities sculpted by the choreography of your own body. The spell of movement is ancient, simple, and powerful. Embody what you desire, and your nervous system will make it true. Chapter 16. The Shock Doctrine, using controlled stress to awaken power. Most flee from stress, believing it an enemy to be conquered, a poison to be purged. But the awakened know stress is not destruction. It is fire, and fire can either consume or forge. The nervous system, when exposed to controlled stress, awakens hidden circuits, unleashes dormant reserves, and rewires itself for strength. This is the shock doctrine, the art of transforming discomfort into power, fear into fuel, adversity into alchemy. In the frozen mountains of Tauren, there lived a smith named Garin, who sought mastery not only of metal, but of his own body. He plunged his hands into ice, held his breath beneath frozen streams, endured winds that stripped others to bone. The villagers called him mad, yet Garin grew stronger, not weaker. His nerves adapted, his heart slowed, his breath deepened. He discovered what sages had long whispered, that controlled stress was not death, but rebirth. By willingly entering discomfort, he taught his nervous system to expand its boundaries until what once terrified became effortless. The nervous system learns through exposure. When it faces cold, it grows resilient. When it faces heat, it learns balance. When it faces fear, it rewires pathways to courage. Avoid stress entirely, and the system weakens, shrinking into fragility. Embrace it consciously, and you awaken circuits that would have lain forever dormant. You need not climb mountains to practice. Begin small. Plunge your hands into cold water and notice the nerves screaming, the breath quickening. Instead of fleeing, breathe deeply. Tell your body, I am safe. Soon, the panic dissolves, the nerves adapt, and the system rewires itself. Each repetition strengthens the body's command center, making you unshakable in the face of true storms. Garin once trained a boy who feared everything, the dark, the cold, the unknown. Day by day, Garin led him into discomfort, first standing barefoot on snow, then holding breath in icy streams, then lifting fire-heated stones with bare hands. At first, the boy wept. Then he laughed. Then he grew fearless. His nervous system, once fragile, had become a fortress. Controlled stress is not suffering, it is initiation. Each shock is a doorway. Each trial is a torch. Step into the fire willingly, and you will discover that your nervous system is not fragile, but infinite. The world cannot break what has been forged in the flames of conscious stress. Chapter 17. Lucid Body States. Nervous System in Altered Consciousness. The nervous system is not bound to ordinary states of awareness. Just as dreams can become lucid, so too can the body enter heightened states where reality itself bends. These lucid body states are moments when nerves awaken beyond habit, when the electric kingdom responds not as it always has, but as you command it to. In these states, miracles are not only possible, they are expected. A traveler named Mariel once wandered the deserts of Ahriman, her body weak from thirst, her spirit weary from endless sun. On the brink of collapse, she lay upon the sand and breathed deeply, surrendering to what seemed her final moment. But then something shifted. Her body, instead of shutting down, entered a state of crystalline clarity. Colors brightened, her heartbeat slowed into a steady drum, her breath deepened beyond any meditation she had known. She walked for 3 days in this altered state, guided by her nervous system's hidden wisdom, until she reached an oasis. The body holds the capacity to alter its state of being through intention. Slow the breath, and the nervous system slides into calm. Intensify the breath, and it awakens into alertness. Focus on sensation, and pain softens into signal. Focus on vision, and imagination becomes indistinguishable from reality. In lucid states, you can command your body to heal, to endure, to create beyond its ordinary limits. You may enter these states by ritual. Begin by breathing in rhythm, longer on the exhale than on the inhale, until the body softens. Then imagine light moving through the spine, activating circuits that usually sleep. Soon, the nervous system begins to shift, brain waves slowing, muscles relaxing, perception expanding. In this state, you may visualize healing, and the body obeys. You may imagine strength, and the body manifests it. Mariel, upon returning to her people, taught them the art. Farmers used lucid states to endure heat and labor. Mothers used them to ease childbirth. Elders used them to heal ailments once thought incurable. All discovered the same truth. The nervous system, guided into altered states, becomes a tool of miracle-making. Ordinary awareness is but one frequency. Beneath it lies a vast spectrum of possibility. Learn to enter it, and you will find that your body can do what once seemed impossible. Lucidity is not confined to dreams. It is the birthright of your nervous system in waking life. Chapter 18. Electromagnetism of Intention. Every thought, every desire, every intention is not confined to the mind. It radiates outward through the nervous system as fields of electricity and magnetism. Your body is a generator, a beacon broadcasting signals into the invisible matrix of existence. What you intend does not remain within, it shapes the currents of reality itself. This is the electromagnetism of intention, the law by which miracles are not merely imagined, but drawn into form. In the coastal city of Albrecht, there lived a clockmaker named Elias, whose shop struggled against ruin. Yet instead of surrendering to despair, Elias practiced a strange ritual. Each morning he placed his hands upon his chest, breathed deeply, and envisioned customers flowing through his door, his clocks shining like treasures, his heart swelling with gratitude. He did not beg or plead, he intended. And his nervous system, attuned to this broadcast, began to emit coherence. Within weeks, customers came, drawn as if by invisible force. Within months, his shop flourished, not through chance, but through the magnetism of intention. The nervous system radiates. The heart produces electromagnetic fields measurable beyond the body. The brain emits waves that shift with thought. Every intention you hold sends ripples outward, tuning the body's electricity to a frequency that attracts matching circumstances. Fear attracts chaos, for it radiates incoherence. Gratitude attracts abundance, for it radiates harmony. The world responds not to words, but to the frequency you emit. To harness this, begin with clarity. Choose one intention, not scattered desire. Place it in the heart, feel it with emotion. Breathe it into your nervous system until every cell vibrates with its reality. The electricity of your body becomes charged with it. The magnetism of your heart amplifies it. The world aligns to it. Elias once taught his apprentice this practice. The boy dreamed of love but had known only loneliness. Each night he placed his hand over his chest and envisioned a companion beside him, not in longing but in gratitude, as though already true. Within a season, love arrived, drawn not by chance but by resonance. You are not powerless. You are an emitter. The nervous system is the transmitter, intention the current, reality the receiver. Send chaos and chaos returns. Send coherence and miracles flow. The choice has always been yours. Chapter 19. Quantum Nerve Bridges, Connecting with Infinite Possibility. Beneath the skin, every nerve is a bridge, a filament of light carrying messages between thought and body. Yet when tuned with intention, these bridges do more than link muscles to mind. They extend into the field of infinite possibility, connecting you to timelines where all versions of yourself already exist. This is the secret of the quantum nerve bridge, that your nervous system is not only a network of biology, but a web that reaches into the fabric of reality itself. In the city of Belmaris, there was a scholar named Thalen who despaired of his failures. He saw himself as weak, doomed to obscurity. But one night, in a dream so vivid it burned like fire, he saw another version of himself, taller, radiant, confident, beloved. The dream Thalen spoke, "I am you, and you are me. Build the bridge." When Thalen awoke, his body pulsed with energy. as though the dream had left an imprint in his nerves. He began to sit in silence each evening, imagining light rising from his spine and extending outward, like threads weaving between his present self and his future. Soon he felt the shift. His posture changed, his voice steadied. Opportunities flowed to him, as though he had crossed into another life. The nervous system is your interface with the quantum field. Each signal, when focused, becomes a thread that connects to other probabilities. When you feel fear and defeat, your nerves tune you to timelines where failure thrives. When you feel courage, gratitude, or love, your nerves bridge to realities where miracles unfold. This is not metaphor, but mechanics. The electricity of your body resonates with frequencies of infinite outcomes, drawing you into whichever you choose. You can practice this by envisioning yourself already living the life you long for. Feel it in your nerves, in your breath, in your spine. The bridge activates not with thought alone, but with sensation. When your nervous system vibrates with the electricity of that chosen timeline, you align with it. The bridge carries you across. Thalen became renowned, not because fate suddenly smiled, but because he built bridges to the self he had once thought impossible. So too can you. Every nerve is a doorway, every sensation a path, every breath a crossing. Choose your bridge wisely, and you will find yourself walking into a reality where miracles are not distant. They are waiting for you. Chapter 20. Dreaming the Nervous System Awake. Each night you sleep, and each night your nervous system continues its sacred work. Dreams are not idle fantasies, but rehearsals, signals, and maps. They reveal what your body has encoded, and they shape what it will create. To dream the nervous system awake is to become conscious of this hidden theater, to step into the stage where miracles are scripted before they manifest. A woman named Illyra lived in the port city of Serenia. Each night her dreams tormented her, waves crashing, ships sinking, storms tearing her world apart. She awoke in terror, her nerves flooded with panic, her days shadowed by the night. An old sailor listened to her plight and told her, "The sea within is no different from the sea without. Sail it." Illyra began writing her dreams, then entering them deliberately. At first, she trembled, but slowly she shifted. When the storm rose, she calmed her breath. When waves towered, she imagined herself steering the ship. As nights passed, her dreams changed. Storms became calm waters, ships sailed steady, and in her waking life, her panic dissolved. She became a leader in her village, guiding others through turmoil with unshakable calm. Your dreams mirror the state of your nervous system. If chaos rules, dreams will show storms. If harmony reigns, dreams reveal gardens, light, and flight. By entering your dreams with awareness, you can reprogram the nervous system at its most receptive moment. Visualize healing, and the body responds. Visualize strength, and the nerves encode it. Each dream becomes not an illusion, but an instruction. Tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine stepping into your dream world as a conscious creator. Whisper an intention to your nervous system. Show me strength. Show me peace. Show me miracles. Trust that the signals you plant will shape both the dream and the waking day that follows. Illyra once feared her nights, but she came to cherish them, for they became her laboratory of transformation. So too can your nights become the sacred ground where you dream the nervous system awake, programming it to deliver the reality your heart has long sought. Chapter 21. Aligning Biology with Belief. Belief is not an airy concept, not an idea floating above the body. It is a command written into the nervous system, a script that the biology obeys with perfect fidelity. What you truly believe, your body enacts. If you believe you are weak, your nerves tighten, your breath shallows, your cells falter. If you believe you are strong, your posture lifts, your hormones align, your body surges with energy. Biology bows to belief, always and without hesitation. In the kingdom of Drevos, a healer named Corin worked with the sick. Some were healed swiftly, others not at all, though they carried the same afflictions. Confused, Corin began to observe not only their symptoms, but their words. Those who whispered, "I will never recover," declined. Those who declared, "I am healing," improved. It was not the herbs that decided, but the beliefs encoded into the nervous system. Corin realized that the body was not separate from faith. It was its servant. Your nervous system listens more closely to belief than to any external cure. It translates belief into signals, signals into hormones, hormones into actions that shape your health, your energy, your destiny. Belief is the architect, biology the builder. To shift the architecture of your life, you must align your biology with your chosen belief. How do you achieve this alignment? Begin by choosing a belief that uplifts rather than diminishes. Do not merely recite it. Feel it until your body obeys. Stand as though it were true. Breathe as though it were true. Move as though it were true. Each action trains the nervous system to accept belief as reality. Soon biology follows. Corin taught his patients rituals of embodiment. One woman, stricken with weakness, was told to walk each morning with her head high, repeating, "I am strength." At first, it felt false, yet within weeks her body began to shift. Muscles grew steadier, breath deepened, vitality returned. Her belief had moved from mind to nerve, from nerve to cell, until biology became its reflection. So it is for you. Do not ask if your beliefs shape your life. They always do. Ask instead, which beliefs are you choosing to inscribe into your nervous system? For once written, they will manifest in the temple of your biology, and from there into the world beyond. Chapter 22. The Nerve Language of Faith and Doubt. The nervous system listens not only to what you say, but to what you truly believe. Faith and doubt are not abstract. They are languages, spoken in electricity, written in pulse, carved into the posture of your body. Each nerve listens carefully, translating your inner conviction into outer manifestation. When faith is strong, signals spread through the body like golden light, expanding possibility. When doubt dominates, signals become fractured, closing doors before you even approach them. In the windswept city of Carrion, a musician named Selvar longed to play for kings. His fingers were skilled, his melodies divine, yet each time he approached opportunity, his body betrayed him. Hands shook, breath faltered, nerves flooded with the language of doubt. He told himself he believed, but the nervous system knew the truth. It spoke in tremors. One evening, pondering in despair, Selvar encountered a blind beggar who carried a lute with strings of worn silk. Though sightless, the man played with such power that crowds gathered. Selvar asked, "How can you play without fear?" The man replied, "I do not see the faces. I see the song. My nerves know only faith." Faith is a command, and the nervous system obeys. It amplifies strength, steadies the hand, expands the breath. Doubt, too, is a command. It constricts, shakes, collapses. The body does not argue. It performs whatever signal it receives. You must learn to speak the language of faith deliberately. When you say, "I believe," but your shoulders slump, your breath tightens, your voice falters, the nerves understand only doubt. But when you align words with posture, breath with conviction, movement with certainty, your nervous system accepts the command as truth. It becomes impossible not to act with power. Selvar began practicing not the notes of his music, but the posture of faith. He stood tall before his mirror, inhaling as though drawing strength from the heavens, exhaling with a steady smile. Each time doubt whispered, he answered not with thought, but with body, straightening, breathing, pressing faith into his nerves until tremors stilled. Weeks passed, and when he performed again, his body no longer faltered. Kings indeed summoned him, not because his music had changed, but because his nervous system now radiated faith instead of doubt. The choice is always before you. Which language will you speak? Every nerve is listening. Every cell responds. Faith expands your reality. Doubt contracts it. The miracle lies not in whether you believe, but in teaching your nervous system to embody belief until the body itself becomes unshakable faith in motion. Chapter 23. Hijacking Hormones as Messengers of Miracles. Hormones are the messengers of the nervous system, carrying signals like couriers through the bloodstream. They dictate energy, mood, hunger, love, desire, and healing, yet most treat them as fate, as if their flows and surges were beyond control. The awakened know otherwise. Hormones can be hijacked. By learning to guide the nervous system, you can command these chemical messengers to deliver miracles instead of misery. In the river valley of Theranos, a healer named Leora became famous not for herbs or charms, but for her laughter. People entered her hut with heaviness, and within minutes of hearing her laughter, their bodies shifted. Faces brightened, posture lifted, sickness eased. What they did not know was that her laughter was not mere cheer, it was medicine. With each burst of joy, her nervous system triggered a cascade of endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, chemical messengers of healing and connection. These signals spilled outward, entraining the nervous systems of those nearby. Miracles bloomed through biology, commanded by laughter. Your hormones obey your nervous system. When stress dominates, cortisol floods, adrenaline spikes, the body prepares for survival, but not creation. When peace reigns, serotonin rises, oxytocin flows, growth and healing occur. The difference between despair and miracle is not the world outside. It is the chemistry you summon within. You can hijack hormones deliberately. Breathe slowly and deeply, and oxytocin rises, bringing calm. Laugh even without reason, and dopamine flows, lifting energy. Embrace another with sincerity, and the nervous system rewards both with cascades of healing chemicals. Move your body in rhythm, and endorphins emerge, turning effort into ecstasy. Leora taught children in her village to play games of joy when sickness threatened, flooding their bodies with hormones of resilience. She taught elders to breathe deeply at sunset, bathing their nerves in calm. She herself sang each dawn, releasing chemistry that healed not only her but all who heard. Her miracles were not spells but signals, hormones guided by deliberate nervous system command. So too can you command your messengers. Begin each day with practices that summon joy, gratitude, laughter, breath. Each signal awakens chemistry that prepares the body for miracles. Do not wait for hormones to shift on their own. Hijack them, and you will discover that your bloodstream itself is the river of transformation. Chapter 24. Collective Nervous Systems. Group Coherence for Mass Creation. You are not an island. Your nervous system is a transmitter, and when gathered with others, signals blend into a field larger than any single body. This is collective coherence, the merging of many nervous systems into one organism of intention. Alone you can create, but together you can amplify beyond imagination. In the ancient hills of Dravona, villagers gathered each full moon, not for worship, but for resonance. They stood hand in hand, breathing in rhythm, chanting as one. Farmers, merchants, elders, children, all aligned their breath, their voices, their hearts. The effect was astonishing. Crops flourished, disputes dissolved, storms softened. Outsiders scoffed until they witnessed it themselves. A village bound in coherence, its nervous systems woven into a single radiant field that bent reality. The nervous system entrains to those around it. One anxious person can infect a room, just as one calm presence can soothe a crowd. When many align deliberately, breathing together, focusing on the same vision, their fields merge. Heartbeats synchronize, brain waves harmonize, electricity expands outward like a net. Miracles arrive not because of magic, but because of amplified coherence. You can feel this even now. Recall the last time you entered a room where everyone was joyful. Your body lifted instantly. Or the last time you entered a room thick with despair, your body tightened, breath shortened. This is nervous system contagion. Imagine then the power of deliberate alignment. The villagers of Dravona understood. They set intentions together. Rain for the fields, peace for the town, healing for the sick. Each person's nervous system amplified the others, until the signal became undeniable, radiating into the world like a beacon. You can create this with those around you. Gather even a few. Breathe together. Align your hearts with gratitude. Envision the same outcome. Feel your bodies synchronize. In that moment, you are no longer many. You are one system, one organism, one radiant force of creation. Collective coherence is the future of miracles. Alone, you command your reality. Together, you command the world. Chapter 25. Rituals of Reprogramming the Flesh. The flesh remembers. Every scar, every posture, every rhythm of breath is a story etched into the nervous system. What most call habit is nothing but memory. Patterns written again and again until the body obeys them without question. Yet memory can be rewritten. Rituals allow you to reprogram the flesh, inscribing new commands into nerves, replacing patterns of despair with patterns of power. In the mist-veiled city of Kalmaris, there lived a potter named Nira. Her hands, once skilled, grew stiff with pain, her body bent from years at the wheel. She told herself her best days were gone, and her nervous system obeyed. Weakness became her companion. But one evening, guided by an elder, she began a nightly ritual. She lit a candle, breathed deeply, and moved her hands in slow, deliberate spirals, not shaping clay, but shaping her body's memory. With each spiral, she whispered, "Dampen, my hands are strong, my craft eternal." At first, nothing changed, but within weeks, her nerves began to respond. The pain softened, the stiffness dissolved, the body remembered strength. Soon her vessels grew more beautiful than ever before, infused with the power of reprogrammed flesh. Your nervous system does not distinguish between ritual and reality. It accepts repetition as truth. If you rise each morning and slump in despair, your nerves will write despair into your muscles. If you rise and stretch with gratitude, they will inscribe joy. Ritual is repetition made sacred. It is the deliberate writing of new scripts into the body. Begin with something simple. Each morning, place your feet firmly on the ground, breathe deeply, and speak one phrase of power aloud. Feel the vibration in your chest, the resonance in your nerves. Repeat it daily until your body no longer waits for the words. It lives them. Over time, the nervous system begins to act as though the ritual's intention has always been true. Nira's village soon copied her rituals. Farmers rose at dawn, touching soil and whispering abundance. Mothers rocked their children, singing not only lullabies but affirmations of health. Elders lit lamps each night, declaring peace. Their bodies changed, their lives transformed, not by chance, but by ritual reprogramming. The flesh obeys what it is told consistently. Ritual is the sacred pen. The nervous system is the parchment. Write carefully, and miracles will become the story your body lives every day. Chapter 26. Living in Hijacked Flow. Flow is the state where effort dissolves, time bends, and miracles appear unbidden. Most stumble into it rarely by accident in moments of passion or danger, but the awakened know that flow can be hijacked, summoned at will, by commanding the nervous system into alignment. To live in hijacked flow is to move through the world as though carried by a river that bends always toward destiny. Long ago, in the mountain monastery of Aravan, monks practiced what they called the dance of the river. They moved with breath in unbroken rhythm, eyes serene, bodies fluid. They lived not in struggle but in constant flow. Villagers marveled, for the monks seemed to accomplish more in a day than others in a week. Their nervous systems, trained through breath, rhythm, and intention, had been hijacked into perpetual alignment. Flow emerges when the nervous system balances tension and ease. Too much stress, and nerves seize in chaos. Too little, and they collapse in slumber. But when challenge and skill meet in harmony, nerves ignite into coherence, electricity surges, hormones align, and the body becomes effortless. Hijacking flow requires deliberately tuning these elements, breath steady, focus sharp, body engaged, mind immersed. You can summon this state by ritual. Begin by choosing a task no matter how small. Breathe into the body until nerves quiet. Set a clear intention. I give myself to this moment fully. Then move without distraction, without resistance. Soon the nervous system shifts, time softens, energy rises, and action flows like water. One monk, Daro, taught a merchant to apply the practice to his work. At first the merchant struggled, his thoughts racing with worry. But as he breathed, focused, and surrendered, he found his tasks dissolving into ease. What once took hours required only minutes. His fortunes grew, his heart lightened, and he declared, "Flow is not chance. It is command." Living in hijacked flow means refusing the chaos of distraction, the paralysis of fear. It means teaching your nervous system to choose coherence again and again until it becomes your natural state. In flow, you are not forcing miracles. They are flowing to you, as inevitable as rivers to the sea. Chapter 27. Nervous System Signatures, Crafting Your Reality Blueprint. Each person radiates a unique signature, an energetic imprint carried through the nervous system into the world. This signature is not abstract. It is felt in the steadiness of your voice, the rhythm of your breath, the electricity of your presence. Others sense it before you speak, and reality responds to it before you act. The question is not whether you have a nervous system signature. You do. The question is whether you will let it be shaped by chance or craft it deliberately into a blueprint for miracles. In the desert kingdom of Solon, a queen named Arisha was famed not only for her beauty, but for her presence. When she entered a room, disputes ended, fear softened, abundance seemed to follow her. Some believed it was magic, but her secret was simple. She had crafted her signature. Each morning she rose before dawn, breathing slowly until her heart pulsed like a drum of serenity. She envisioned her people thriving, her kingdom flourishing, and she allowed that vision to seep into her nerves until her entire body radiated it. When she appeared, her nervous system broadcast a signal so coherent that all who encountered her felt compelled to align with it. Your signature is shaped by your habits. Anxiety produces a signal of fear, drawing chaos. Gratitude produces a signal of harmony, drawing abundance. You are always broadcasting, always imprinting reality with your nervous system state. The world reflects not your words, but your signature. Crafting a new blueprint begins with awareness. Ask yourself, what do others feel in my presence? What does the world mirror back to me? If the answer is fear, doubt, or struggle, your signature must be rewritten. Choose the frequency you desire, peace, power, joy, and begin to embody it daily. Breathe it, move it, repeat it until your nervous system emits it effortlessly. Arisha once trained her generals to practice this before battle. Rather than dwell on fear, they spent hours aligning their breath, their hearts, their intentions, until they radiated confidence. When they entered the battlefield, the enemy often faltered without a single sword drawn, overwhelmed by the signature of inevitability that the army projected. So it will be with you. Craft your nervous system signature, and it becomes a blueprint etched into reality. Miracles align with coherence. Abundance responds to certainty. Love answers to harmony. You need not force the world. You need only craft the signal you emit, and reality will mirror it with precision. Chapter 28, The Eternal Reboot, Using Sleep as System Upgrade. Every kingdom requires renewal. Even the most powerful engine must rest. The brightest flame must pause to gather fuel. So it is with the nervous system. Each night when you surrender to sleep, the body does not simply drift into darkness. It rewires, repairs, upgrades. What you carry into this sacred reboot becomes the blueprint for the life you awaken into. To treat sleep as ordinary rest is to squander its power. To treat it as ritual is to force the nervous system into miracles. In the mountain village of Corinth, there lived a scribe named Arion. By day, he labored until exhaustion blurred his eyes. His nights were troubled, filled with restless tossing, and each morning he woke more weary than before. He believed himself cursed, his nerves frayed, his strength dwindling. One evening, a traveling mystic found him and asked, "Do you not know that each night the Creator places you in his workshop? What you hand him determines what he builds." She taught Arion to end each day not with worry, but with intention. He was to speak gratitude aloud, envision the life he desired, and then surrender into sleep as if handing blueprints to the divine architect. Arion obeyed. He began to whisper thanks for his breath, his hands, the ink upon his scrolls. He saw himself awakening strong, steady, renewed. At first it seemed fantasy, but within weeks his nights grew calm, his mornings filled with energy, his nerves alive with resilience. The mystic's words proved true. Sleep was not escape, but upgrade. Your nervous system obeys the final signals you feed it before rest. If you close your eyes steeped in fear, the body rehearses fear all night. If you close them steeped in gratitude, the body rehearses gratitude. Dreams become the training ground of the nervous system, coding reality through repetition unseen. You can practice this reboot deliberately. Before sleep, breathe slowly, release tension, and speak intentions as though they are already true. See them clearly, feel them deeply, then surrender them. Trust that your nervous system, in the silence of night, will weave them into its circuits. Arion's story became legend. The villagers began practicing nightly upgrades. Farmers dreamt of flourishing crops, and the land responded. Mothers dreamt of healthy children, and vitality bloomed. The nervous system, bathed in the ritual of sleep, obeyed its nightly commands. So too can you command the eternal reboot. Do not collapse into sleep as though defeated. Enter it as a sovereign entering the throne room, handing the night its orders. Each morning, rise not surprised by miracles, but expecting them, for your nervous system has rehearsed them while you slept. Chapter 29, Crossing the Threshold from Biology to Divinity. The nervous system is flesh, yes, but it is also doorway. Within its signals lies the bridge between the human and the divine, the finite and the infinite. To cross this threshold is to discover that you are not merely a body commanding nerves, but a spirit commanding creation through the language of biology. In the marble city of Athenor, a philosopher named Darius spent his life studying the body, dissecting, cataloging, defining. He believed all was material, that man was no more than mechanism. Yet in his final years, as illness weakened him, he began to notice something strange. When he prayed, though he did not believe, his pain softened. When he imagined light flooding his body, his nerves calmed, his heart steadied. He realized that thought and spirit moved through the nervous system like wind through harp strings, producing harmony beyond biology. On his deathbed, he whispered, "The nerves are not the truth. They are the threshold. The body is instrument, but you are the musician. The nervous system is the harp, but spirit is the hand. Every sensation, every current is evidence not of limitation, but of connection. When you align your biology with higher awareness, Your nervous system becomes a bridge to the divine, amplifying not only survival, but creation, not only thought, but revelation. You cross the threshold through surrender, breathe into the body, feel the pulse of nerves, but do not stop there. Ask, who feels this? Who commands this? Soon you will sense presence beyond the body, the self that uses the nervous system as tool, but is not bound by it. In that moment, biology bows and divinity rises. Villagers of Athenor later built a shrine to Darius, honoring his final discovery. They practiced daily alignment, blending prayer with breath, vision with sensation. Their nervous systems, once bound by fear, now pulsed with a sense of infinite connection. Miracles blossom not as exceptions, but as the natural expression of lives lived on the threshold. You too are invited to cross. Do not mistake the nervous system as limit. It is the gate. Pass through and you will find yourself no longer a seeker of miracles, but their source. Chapter 30. The Awakened Operator, Becoming the Miracle Maker. There comes a moment when practice becomes mastery, when learning gives way to being. You have traveled through currents of electricity, bridges of breath, anchors of ritual, signatures of coherence. You have seen that your nervous system is not enemy but throne, not cage but key. Now you stand at the threshold of mastery, not student but operator. To be the awakened operator is to live each day not hoping for miracles, but creating them, not searching for power, but radiating it. In the valley of Eilith, there was a woman named Saraya who once trembled at every storm. Her nerves ruled her life, binding her to fear, anxiety, despair. But through years of practice, she learned to command breath, transmute trauma, summon coherence, enter flow. She became known not as victim, but as oracle. Villagers sought her guidance, for miracles seemed to follow wherever she walked. When asked her secret, she answered, "I am no different from you. I only remembered that I hold the controls." The awakened operator does not deny storms. She steers through them. He does not wait for fate, he programs it. Each breath becomes a lever, each movement a spell, each thought a command. The nervous system becomes instrument, finely tuned, obedient to intention. Biology aligns with belief. Hormones obey coherence. Sleep becomes laboratory. Pain becomes portal. Nothing is wasted, for everything is fuel. To reach this mastery, you must stop seeking outside and claim the throne within. Every day is practice, yes, but also creation. When fear arises, you know the code. When doubt whispers, you flip the switch. When chaos threatens, you summon coherence. The world bends because your nervous system broadcasts certainty into its fabric. Saraya's village flourished not because she prayed for blessings, but because she radiated them. Crops grew, disputes healed, abundance flowed. She had become the miracle maker, not because she was chosen, but because she chose to operate her system consciously. So too can you. You are the operator of the greatest technology ever crafted, the nervous system, the bridge of biology and divinity. No longer drift as passenger. Take the wheel. Breathe as creator. Feel as architect. Move as sovereign. Each moment becomes miracle. Each day a testament. The journey is complete, but mastery is endless. Tonight, as you close your eyes, remember, you are not waiting for miracles. You are making them. The awakened operator does not ask, "Will it happen?" The awakened operator commands, "It is so," and so it shall be.